Okay, well, the time has come. Like Kenny Rogers said, sometimes you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. And you got to know when to go ahead with something and when to give up. So, time has come to throw in the towel on this project. I'm just going to go ahead and scrap this car. Nah, I'm only kidding. Now what's going to happen is I've been working on these fenders and the rest back there, but specifically these front fenders, trying to salvage them. As you can see, I've been doing Bondo work, some work back there, and I've just come to the realization that these fenders are just really beyond help for a couple reasons. The main thing I didn't like about these fenders, this one specifically, is that whenever they repaired these fenders, and they have been repaired more than once, whenever they repaired these fenders, they put some patches in here. And the problem with the patches is that you can see right here, there's the top of a rivet. And I was sanding this down, and I think there's another one right there. And another one right there. So what's happened is they didn't do that correctly when they patched this fender. So the patch in there is up too high, so whenever you try to fill it to level it with the rest of the fender contour, you can't, because you're just down to the metal patch before you get it level. So that is never ever going to look right. So that's probably half a can of Bondo in there right now. That's how much it's taken, and it's not even finished yet. And then of course it's had its problems back here and had some pinholes here, which is not a problem for me to deal with, but down here, kind of look at that, see how that's wavy right there? Well, that whole under part of that fender is Bondo, and then I've been working on reconstructing the edge back there in the meantime. So this fender is pretty much junk, and then this one over here has a huge hole in it, which I started fixing over here with my non-patented chicken wire reinforcement technique, which I think would have been workable, but there again, we're dealing with Bondo on top of Bondo, and this is not even the original fender for this car. This fender has been replaced at one time. This is a fender off some other A-body, Plymouth A-body, I don't know what, but it's in poor shape too. So that'd be that. So here's the solution for that. I have these two used fenders. Those who've been with me for a while may remember that I had a Duster, a 75 Duster, early on in this channel's history that I bought and was flirting around with the idea of fixing it up. And then the more I got into it, I realized that car was a rust bucket, and it was a rust bucket in a different way than this one is. This is a Pennsylvania car, and so of course it's rusting from the bottom up because of the road salt. And this car was a coastal car, which means it was down near the coast on Louisiana, in that area. And what happens down there is that they don't rust from the bottom up, they rust from the top down, because the rain there, I guess, gets salt in it, and then it rains on the car and it settles into all the cracks and crevices up top. So that car had a lot of rust around the windows and in the roof and around the trunk lip, just a lot of rust. And combine that with the fact that it had a poor interior and a poorly colored interior. It had a tan interior and it was a poor color externally. It was brown color. I decided to go ahead and relieve it of all its good parts and just send it off to the crusher. And I think I made a good decision on that. So I saved off the parts for it and saved these fenders, saved the door, rear end, a whole bunch of stuff. So these fenders are in good shape, and these fenders they'll fit any of these A-body Plymouths from 73 on up to 76. Well, they'll probably actually fit earlier than that, but I know for a fact they fit those. Like that'd be a Valiant or a Scamp or a Duster. And this one has got, one side has still got the fender molding on it. Yeah, it's this one, the wheel lip molding. That had that on it, so I'll take that off. I don't need that. And then still got its emblems on it. And I'll have to work on that a little bit because you can't see it on this side, but there's supposed to be a Valiant emblem right about there. So they'll take a little bit of prep, but they are straight and not rusty. So, and you know, down the road, if this car finally gets to the point that it's no longer fixable or safe to be on the road, then you know I can always just pull the fenders back off of it and keep them. But you can see I've already got enough to worry with already as far as Bondo stuff goes. So I get the fenders changed and go from there. The thing about these fenders is why I was resisting taking these off was because the inner fenders are not too healthy, and as a matter of fact, I'm not even sure I can get that one off looking at it, because somebody's patched it over the inner fender there. That's real good of them to do that. And this one's a little bit better off, but it's still got some issues there. And I know it's I know this car's got some ugliness to be found behind the front wheels right there, so on each side, but we're not trying to make a show car out of it. Yeah, definitely. This patch here, I think that's gonna have to come off. I'm gonna have to see, this thing's been patched right there too. Quite artistic. So yeah, they're junk. Yeah, they have. See that they've riveted this into the. It's great. Riveted it into the inner fender. Oh, wonderful. So we'll see how many bolts I can get out without breaking the bolts off. They just go into, they've got captive nuts on the back, those little sheet metal nut things that go on there. So anyway, fun stuff, but has to be done. So I guess I'm gonna get started on taking this thing apart here. Let's see, the grill's gonna have to come out, headlight's gonna have to come out. And we're probably going to go ahead and take this bumper off and junk it too, because it's got its own problems. As you can see right there, some rust out going, so no point in fixing the fenders. Actually, this bumper's not rusted. It's rusty, but the chrome is popped off of it, but it's got, look right there. Yeah, it's junk, it's gone. Okay, so I'll catch up with you a little later on as I get into this. Like the doctor says, it has to come off. Tell you guys.